My name's Jason O'Brien. I'm a technical officer at the School of Art and Design, and we're here doing an intro into one of Adobe's products, Adobe Premiere Rush. Now, this thing, the application is very good for our usage because you can use it on your phone, your tablets, or on your PCs, or a combination of any of those. If you upload your documents to the cloud, you can actually use those applications to share, do a bit of work on the phone, do a bit of work on the tablet, do a bit of work on the PC at home. So you can actually use it it's truly on sort of a cloud applicable device. You can grab information like the videos and sound and things using the phone camera. You can use the camera on your webcam on your thing. So you can actually get lots of sources. You can pull in files from like MOV file, MPEG files off other devices as well that you've made. So it's very adaptable, and the best thing about it is how simple it is to cut and paste and stick things together. Now, if you want to do something very, very complicated, there's the Adobe Premiere suite, and once this level of application it starts to limit your ability to produce stuff, that's when we suggest you move over to Premiere. So I'll just share my screen now, and I'll show you other places you can learn about the application as well as this. So I'll just share that there. So we have a whole variety of things, like where you put your, we have a thing called the Adobe Creative Cloud, and if you haven't installed it already, it's available to all our new students and staff until the end of May at this stage, and could be for longer. And basically this is the sort of hub you have for what applications you've got downloaded and things. So you can install the app from the Creative Cloud, and that makes linking to these sort of things much easier. So we've got other ways of learning about the Premiere Rush. So Photoshop is the one I've already downloaded and things like that, and it's also got a desktop and mobile mode. But up here, I'll have all the applications I can possibly get. Let's start scrolling at the moment. But I can also, from here, access any of the files I save to the cloud for my Creative Cloud usage. So that's the Adobe Creative Cloud. This is LinkedIn, and this one here is a LinkedIn learning process. I'll put it in the chat after I finish talking here, all the links to our how to use the School of Art and Design LinkedIn. But this one, for example, can walk you through the basics of making it. It only takes an hour, and you'll get a fairly good grasp of how to do things. But there's also a tutorial that starts in the application itself that can walk you through some similar things to this. So in our websites, if you go have a look through ours, I think my one is too. On the School Art and Design community part, you also have a lot of supports from us here. This is the one for joining LinkedIn Learning. There's our accounts and their passwords. And you go there to go learn how to link into that. We've also got these other supports here for how to actually grab things off your screens, how to make simple, very, very simple things using screen captures. And there's a little guide here for the Premiere Rush. So these are the other additional things we have for training. And so the three people here today are Jean-Philippe Desmarais, he's our main presenter, Alma Tawfik, and I. And so I'll be on the chat answering any chat questions you may have. And I'll be coming here, and I'll show you basically what I made in Rush in a hurry, just purely on a phone to see how it worked. So this one here I just did 3 or 4 little recordings. So I'll play for you now here, and I'll show you briefly what it's like. So I made this look more official for the ANU sort of thing. So this is an intro file and an exit file that we'll make available for you to download to add to your projects. So basically it does the School of Art and Design thing. I don't think you can hear my audio at this point in time, but basically it's a radio broadcast, and that's the audio file down there. So this is just a black screen, picture of my dog, picture of the cat in isolation, picture of my other cat who doesn't care as well about being in isolation, and then the chicken's going crazy. Yeah? So these are just clips, and then we put the ANU ending on the back of it, yeah? And that's what Premiere Rush is very good at. Block, 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 put audio over there. I did this thing called a J-cut to put the same audio over the whole thing, but that's so you could do a voiceover or something like that. And the way I made that recording was I put my thumb over the camera of the phone and held the phone next to the radio and just recorded it straight. So that would be the same thing if I was talking to it, yeah? So that audio just goes through the whole thing. So that's how Premiere Rush is. And then eventually when I make my little project like this, like they'll walk through today, I can go up here and hit share, and I can save it as a local file. I can save it to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Behance. Now Behance is Adobe's social media thing, so you probably don't want to use that very much. And we'll talk through these settings here. So that's what it was. So simple block things stuck together. I made all of that on my phone. I didn't have to go into the apps. It was frustrating because you're only using a little small screen. You've got to expand things out and contract them and things like that, but it's pretty simple. So I'll head over to JP now, and and he can start walking us through it all. JP.
Yeah, thank you. Once you download the application, you will have like the Creative Cloud, this one here, the Creative Cloud application that's sort of on the Mac. Just like on the Windows machine, it should be the same. You have that logo. For us, like on Mac, like the logo will be on top. For the Windows machine, it'll be like sitting at the bottom here. So pretty much, if you have a look on top here, you have like 3 different tabs. So the desktop tab. So the desktop meaning that if you click on that, you can download it straight to your computer. So you just install it on your local computer here, like on my iMac. And if you want to have it on your iPad or your mobile phone, it can be Android or it can be your iPhone. All you have to do, depending like what application you want, like let's say for example, you want Photoshop, or for us, like we want like Premiere Rush. You just click on the link, send link, and you type in your phone number. We ask you to type it again. Yeah, got that on. Anyway, so I've done it before, and then like you will send that link to your phone. Once you get the link, all you have to do is to click and it will install it. So you will open it on your Apple Store if you're using an iPhone, or it's going to open it on your Android with the Google Store. So just install it, and once you install it, that's the interface that you will have. So the interface is very simple. There's not a lot to it. So something that you have to consider, like something like obviously like it's a little bit different on your desktop machine compared like if it's on your iPad or on your phone. So you have to check like you have like the preference. For the preference, like the reason why we can hear the sound for Jason is like here. So you have to make sure like your audio output is either built-in on your machine, or if you're using a headphone, for example, like I was using my headphone today, so like that's what it's going to say. It's going to say like the sound is going to go, the input sound is coming from my headphones. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to put it to microphone, so built-in on my machine. So you say okay to that. And next thing that you want to do is to create a new project. So as soon as you click on create a new project, it will give you sort of all the storage that you have on your local machine. So like it will sort of like have cluster of them, have your desktop, documents. So this one is my main hard drive, like the Mac. And then like the storage, so my hard drive is split in 2. So pretty much for us to go to, so you can go to wherever like you save your file, your video file. So for me, for example, mine is under storage, and pretty much that's the one I'm going to use for today. Like it's under like sample for demo. So you click on that, and you select like whatever clip that you want. For example, I will select this one, 1, 2, and 3. So if you see like it will give you like a number. So that number like represent like the order that is going to align your clip on the timeline. So it's not crucial because you can rearrange the clip, but something like which can be very handy if you're using on a small device, like if you're using like your iPhone, for example, which is pretty tiny. So this will really help you, or even on your iPad. So once like you select your clip, so all you have to do, as you can see, like it's here. You just say snooze that, create, and it will prepare the clip for you. So here you go. So that will be the interface that you're going to use. So that's
essentially you could just export from that. If that was all you needed to do, and you didn't need to do any of the special stuff, you could just go up there, share, and export that as a movie. If you wanted to keep it that simple, yeah?
Yeah.
So if you just had, while I'm talking to camera piece or whatever, you could just put the starting clip, end clip, put the thing in the middle, export it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very easy to actually improve these so they're much more viewable. So from this point on is the blinging out of your project, as it were. Back to you, JP.
Yeah. All right. So there you go. So here's like the viewer here. So you see like that's your clip. So you can resize it if you want. You can make it smaller. And you can see like so here's your timeline, like where you have all your clips, so your different clips. So you have clip 1, 2, and that's the last one, right? So I will go quickly through like the interface, like to explain like briefly where they are. So you have the plus sign here. That's where like you can upload your media. So if you have more video files that you want to bring in, so you just click on that, and it will give you like so wherever, like for example, I want to add like a logo, so add. So you will add that as well. So you will add it straight to your timeline, depending where your scroller is. Okay, so here you go. We have it here. Anyway, so if we go back, so this here, like that's all the videos that you have in that project. You know what I mean? So here it is. So in this project, like I have like this the logo. Video file, like the clip 1, clip 2, and clip 3. So if you scroll down at the bottom here, you have like different tools. So this one, like the scissors, like if you want to split like your clip, for example, let's put it here. I want to split that. Boom. As you can see, like split the clip in 2. And here, like so it's to duplicate, so it's to delete. And you can expand your clip as well. So if you expand it, there you go. So you expand your audio here, yeah. And here,
so that's really handy. Just know where you're going to put your cut. So if you wanted someone to finish on a word, you can also, if you click in the timeline somewhere else, you can actually advance frame by frame to find exactly where you want to do, because there's like 25 or 35 frames running for a second. So if you want to chop something off exactly, that's where you do that. That's where you can move this little cursor. So that's basically, this is a previewer, and this is telling you where the preview is, what the preview is looking at, the actual blue line. Yeah, back to you, JP.
Yeah. Okay. On this side, like you have title, like so pretty much title, like if you want to add a title, so later on, like Arma is going to talk about it. We have the transition tools. You have like the color. If you want to put some color to it, you can change the speed. If you want to make it faster, slower, you can do that. Depending like how much frame, like how good like your video is. And also you have audio, and this one is to crop and rotate. So as you can see, like so now, like let's say for example, we want to start with like little intro of here. So we want it to stop here. So we can just cut that. There you go. Put that at the front. Let's start here. I want to get rid of this one. Delete. Press D on your keyboard, like to delete it. So you can rearrange your clip. You have this one in the front, this one at the end. And pretty much, so we start here. Transition to clip number 2. So now you can trim it, like if it's too long, instead of cutting it, you can trim it. So we just make it a little bit short, closer to the skull. instead. So about here you go. So which means from there, like, you know, we start, like, you know, so with the little like animation, it moves to the clip here, the building, and we want to stop it. We want to trim it as well, a little bit more.
Are you just dragging that blue line with your cursor?
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah. So if you can see here, can you see my cursor here? Like, you know, when I bring it down, so I can bring it in. See, I bring it in. So which means like I can trim wherever I want.
Yeah, so if you wanted the start of that clip and the end of that clip only, you could cut out the middle, and you cut out a bit and duplicate that. You duplicate the clip and do it to 2, and so you could put a front end of one and the back end together. So they're just simple blocks. That's what it's all about. Keeping the blocks simple means you can do whatever you want. Like in mine, I think I duplicated one 3 times simply because I needed a black screen. So yeah. So you can reduce, reuse, and recycle quite often. You know, you can have a block repeat. You can have a block repeating over and over again if you want to have some sort of loopy effect. So yeah, you guys have seen so many videos and things like that in your lifetime. You know what a good timeline is. You're already very quite sophisticated in what's good. So you just know cut to this, cut to that, cut to that. One piece of advice I'd give you is always have your phone in horizontal, not portrait, because otherwise you're going to have those terrible things you see on like news.com that they're recording. They've just got 2 black things on either side. So always keeping your stuff horizontal. The simplest camera advice is do a shot, then move your camera, do a shot, move your camera. Don't move around with you and the camera unless you're chasing someone down the street, a la, you know, those gotcha moments on televisions. Yeah, so there you go. Back to you, Jeppy.
Yeah. All right. So as you can see, like, you know, we have sound here, and then it goes silent. Now, if you want to get rid of the sound, all you have to do is to right-click on the clip that you want, and then, like, you know, separate, like, you know, your audio. So now, like, you know, we'll have it here at the bottom. So you just click on it. So when it's yellow, orange, you know, like, you know, you have your sound selected. So now you have 2 options. If you want to get rid of it, like, you know, like on your desk, on your keyboard, just press delete, or you can press Command Z, like, you know, to undo. And if you want to get rid of it, let's say, for example, you don't have a keyboard, you're using your iPad, so you just, like, you know, press delete. The good thing with Rush, like, you know, anything that you do, if you're not sure about something, or if you deleted something by mistake, you do on the top, you do have your redo, so you can bring it back. You can redo from, like, you know, the very start, like, you know, where you started, so you don't have to worry about making mistakes. That's one of the good things with Rush as well. So you just take your time, like, you know, to learn it, you know what I mean? So for example here, yeah, so a little animation. So yeah, so that's something that's very flexible, that's really easy. That's what I like with Rush. You know, you just sort of undo until, like, the start of your clip. So here you go. That's it, like, you know, in terms of, like, you know, cutting it, placing them, so stacking them as well, you know what I mean? So you can stack on top of each other, like, you know, for example, let's say, like, you know, if I go back here, like, you know, in our project panel, I want to put, like, you know, like a still image. So you click on it, click and drag. There you go. So that's going to sit on top of this clip here. And let's say, like, you know, we want it to be our watermark. So you just drag the whole thing, like, you know, till, like, you know, so the start of your clip, and you click on it. Position it where you want, resize it. And here you go, you have your watermark ready to go. So
Yeah, so you can use that for screen-on-screen things when you see bloggers and things like that. Quite often they're using another camera to do the same thing, but yeah, that's what you can do. You can actually have you can record yourself as a voiceover in that if you wanted to. Yeah? So if you're watching North by Northwest, you could be in that. It could be you saying, "Oh, this is where the first cut happens. This is where the other cut happens. This is how they've crossed the line and things like that." So you can use that. That's an advanced, nifty thing you can do as well to make it much more dynamic for your viewers. Back to you, JP.
Okay, all right. Now, I'm going to pass on to Armor. He's going to show us how to use titles, on the clip, and which is very handy. So if you want to guide your audience in terms of where you want, where you want them to read, or have a title. So, well, dead simple again on Rush. Okay, Armor.
JP, can you quickly show them how to mute audio on the videos?
Yeah.
So if you wanted, say, the one of the other ones to play all the way through, like I did, you just let it extend all the way across, and you go right click on, say, the one with the audio, and you can say
separate. You can separate.
You can separate the audio, and
yeah,
you can delete it if you want to.
Or you can use it here.
You can use that and mute it and things like that. So that's how you can have multiple audios coming in. So yeah, so you can play with that to make your life easier. Yep. Sorry, okay. Over to Armand.
Sure. So to do text and stuff, your effects are all here at the right, so you can come and have a little bit of a play with these. They are a little bit limited if you want to do anything advanced or anything. So if you want to do something advanced, that's where you'd go to Premiere Pro, but you could do all the basics here, which is great. So the first one is titles. So I'll just click on that. And it should, there you go. It shows you like a few presets and defaults, which makes it really easy for you. You could kind of go in and see if there's anything that looks close to what you want. I'm going to just go for a really basic one, but you might need one that's got like 2 lines of text, which is good. You can create your own 2 lines by just doing 2 of these, but I'll just do 1 line of text just because it'll be easy. Now the most important, so the way I do this, by the way, is just click and drag. Like everything in Rush is incredibly simple. You just click and drag and it works. Now the most important thing with titles is for it to be legible. So you don't want to just go and do something like this because it's white on white. So you might want to edit the color of this title. And the way you do that is you click on this little edit button. And this gives you the choices of your fonts and your colors and things like this. You can create a little drop shadow as well. If you had to do white on white for some reason, you could turn this on and then it gives you a little drop shadow, which kind of makes it pop out a little bit more. And if you want, you can also have so you can move your text around like this, just like any clip. So you can click and drag the edges, which will make the text longer or shorter. Usually you want your text to be legible for just like a second or so. They usually say like the rule of thumb is if you can read it 3 times, then that's when you cut it. You don't have it any longer than that to read it in your head 3 times. I usually just read it aloud once, and then I think that's long enough. Anyways, so I could bring this also to the beginning of my clips. And what that does is it just pushes everything aside. So you could have a little intro by doing something like this. That's if you don't want the text to be with any kind of image on top, on top of any image. Or you could just find an image that would work well with text. So for instance, this image over here is really nice because it's black and white. So you could put the text over this black and white image and then think about maybe making it in color. Because the idea is you just want it to be very legible, so it needs to have a lot of contrast. So if I were to bring it here, for instance, and give it a color, text color, I could choose something like, let's go blue, because blue is nice. Quick little tip with choosing colors, usually you don't want to go for the most blue. Like if you're going for blue, you don't want to go for the most blue, which looks something like this. That's usually not a very nice blue. It's just kind of like a Web 1.0 kind of look. So there's a whole bunch of different shades of blue, so play around with them. Usually like a light color would look nice. I don't know, maybe something like that. There. And if you want to add some kind of transition as well, that's in the next tab over here. You've got transitions. If I click on transitions, this is really simple. You've got only 3 options really. Cross dissolve, dip to black, dip to white. Again, you just click and drag, and you could put this at the beginning of a clip or at the end of a clip or in between 2 clips. So I'll put it in between these 2 clips. to show you what happens. I think that will work. Let me try that again.
Yeah, it's in there. It's the orange.
Oh yeah, it's so, the clips are just really long, so I couldn't see it. Which actually reminds me, you can zoom into clips, but zoom into your timeline by using this little time slider. So if I were to move this down, I could zoom in and see what was actually going on there. And you can see, yep, there it is. It's created a cross dissolve. I was just so far away that I couldn't see it.
Yeah,
and now if I press, yeah,
that's what I meant. Yeah, play it.
Yep. And now if I play it, it fades into that clip. So I'm guessing that means that this clip just had a whole bunch of black at the end.
Yes.
Yep. So I can get rid of that by just trimming all of that like so. And now it should transition. There we go. Gives you a little cross dissolve between the two. And dip to black just makes it go to black and be first, and then appears to with your video, and dip to white does that as well. There are presets for color and stuff. They're pretty basic, but they're really easy to use, which is great. So if you want your footage to have some kind of look, you can play around with some of these looks. So for instance, let's go cinematic. It just kind of makes things a little bit more contrasty and punchier with colors. You can go, let's say, film, which kind of fades out your image a little bit, and just play around with these and see what you've got. You can also go to edit and try to customize your own with some of these settings. So feel free to play with that as well. Yeah, and you could also do stuff like speed remapping. And here's a really good audio some audio tools where you can, like, again, I'll just let you guys play with this later. I don't have time to go through it right now. But the interesting thing about this is if you have audio clips, what you could do is you can categorize them. So if you have dialogue, which is almost most of what you're going to be doing is probably dialogue, you will change the type here and choose voice. And this will give you really good voice, like preset voice settings. So stuff like balanced audio, reduce background noise is probably one of the ones that you guys will use the most. And enhanced speech makes your sound a lot more, I guess, vibrant. So you can turn that on and choose if you're male or female. And reduce echo might be handy. But I find reduce background noise to be the one I use the most. Yeah, and here you could also crop images as well and rotate your image if you need to. Sweet, and I guess I'll throw it back to JP now.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Omar.
No, thanks.
Yeah, any questions so far, guys? Like, so is it a little bit too fast? Is it okay? Like, do you have any questions in terms of?
Yes, Simon.
He's
Simon?
muted.
Oh yeah. Let's try to unmute Simon. Here you go.
Can I come in over a video playing live and record audio in?
Like a voiceover, you mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So one of the great things with Rush, like, because like, it was designed like, for you to use it on your iPad or like on your phone. So if you go on top here, can you see that? Like, if you click on the Add Plus, you have like the voiceover. So if you click on the voiceover, you can record. Here you go. Okay. Let me try to mute this one. One, okay. Hello. Thank you for joining us today to our first meeting and demo on Adobe Premiere Rush. And let's see. Hello. Here you go. you get
that's where you would like to play with the audio. It's going, oh, that's a little bit too loud, so you can make it louder or softer or change back as the stuff that Arm was talking about. So yeah. Those things are all very simple to do. You go, oh my God, that's too loud. You can just right click on it and see what it can do for you. Yeah.
So yeah, for example, just click on it, and if you go on top here you go. Let me try to get rid of that. So you can, there you go. You can change the volume. You can sort of reduce it, as you can see here, and increase it. So yeah, and you have like a few little kind of function here that you can use as well. So yeah, so that's one of the cool things with Rush. You can sort of have voiceover, like once you finish editing your clip and you want to add something to it. So yeah, so it can be done. Simon, yeah.
Thanks. Great.
All right. What else?
Anyone else? Oh, yeah. So we've got the chat windows open, and we've got lots of the links we've been talking about are on the chat thing. If you've got a really quick question you want to put in there, just type it in, and Amber and I will try to answer for you as JP's doing his wonderful presentation.
Okay, so pretty much, so we've learned how to cut the clip, so rearrange them in the timeline, how to remove audio and add audio to it if you want to add a title, and if you want to sort of color grade it with some preset using colors, it can all be done. Now, what I'm going to show you is how you're going to export it. So it's pretty simple again. So all you have to do is to click on share on top here. So what's going to give you pretty much, so by default, every time you use Adobe Premiere Pro or Rush, it will sort of, its naming convention will be a sequence, it's always a sequence 1, 2, 3. So you can change that, so rename it. So we call it demo trial 01. So that would be the location where it's going to save that file. So if you click on it, you can sort of, for example, I have everything under storage. So I have a little folder for everything on my support work. So we save it here. Say choose. So as you can see, the good thing as well, it's going to tell you the size, estimated size, so as you can see, our clip is about 2 minutes long, and the size is pretty small, so which is good. It's going to save it as an MP4. So pretty much, if you're using, unfortunately, if you're using your iPhone or if you're using an iPad, it's going to record everything and save the file into MOV. So using MOV, well, it's not unfortunately, but it's a QuickTime format. So it's from Apple, and the problem that you have if you try to do MOV file, you can play it quite easily on your Mac. But if you want to see it on Windows, you have to download a QuickTime Player or VLC to be able to see to watch MOV file. So that's why the good thing with MP4, it's cross-platform, it's very small in size, and and sort of small compression, so which means the file is not too big, and it keeps that image quality. So that's why you should go for the MP4 if you're going to upload it online. So in terms if you click on advanced, so some of the preset, if you click on the preset, it give you so if you want to upload it on YouTube, 1080p, full HD. So you have different options here. So leave it on auto, and then here so full HD and quality high, and pretty much you're pretty much good to go. So once you're done, so let me dismiss all. So all you have to do is to click on export, and it will render the clip for you. As you can see, it was designed to be super quick, and it doesn't take a lot of processing power to solve. It's going to do quite, because keeping in mind if you're doing it on your phone, you don't want your phone to clog or your iPad to clog. So that's one of the good things with Rush.
If you do render from your the iPhone or something like that, it'll send it to your camera roll, like your normal where your images are, and from there you can export it as a MPEG as well to Dropbox, Cloud Store, any of those sort of sharing things you have on your phone. So if you've got Amazon cloud or something, you can actually send it to there, so you can actually share it to different devices if you want. So that's the easiest way of getting it kind of out. Save it to your camera roll and then export it to somewhere that you can actually access it online.
Yeah.
So that's what I've done with my one. I found that the easiest way from the iPhone. It'll be much easier on the Android platform, and it'll be very easy from when you're doing a screen capture of like something like this. It'll already give you a file that's applicable. So we could get this recording and chop out all the ums and ahs and all the little fudgy bits and make it look like a much tighter thing, but just keep it as a continuous thing in Rush. So yeah, there you go. Back to you, JP.
Yeah, so as you can see, like, that's the process here. So like, your destination, like, render, like, once you see done, you can, you go back, or, so you can either like, put it on YouTube or Facebook. So, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like, it's all done. Now, like, this is your project, like, the one that we worked on. So like I said, like, you see, like here, like, it shows you the little cloud. So let's say, for example, like, you've worked on your desktop machine, and then you have, and then you want to do some editing on your iPad. Like, if you have your cloud set up, so you'll be able to see the same thing, like the same file here, this one here, like, you'll be able to see it on your iPad. So that's the beauty of it, you know what I mean? So it's cross-platform. You can have it on different devices, and then you can synchronize them depending, like, your internet connection and stuff. So that's pretty much it.